Hello and welcome to another episode of Game and Garnish. I'm your host today, Brad. I'm joined by the usual crew. I've got Jake.
Hello.
Got Ben.
Hello.
And I've got Joe.
Hello.
And I want to start us off with a question.
Oh, I love a good question.
Me and Jake have just got back from our holidays. We've just been to the Norwegian fjords and it was a lovely time.
Beautiful. Beautiful place.
Beautiful country. And it was on a cruise. And during our trip, we went to like an evening show, wasn't it? With the one and only Emmerdale's finest, Tom Lister.
No way.
Who sung an impassioned performance while we ate our dinner. It was actually quite a good night, and it was quite
pretty funny actually. Yeah.
It was pretty funny. And he started off with like a Q&A where anyone could ask him questions. And there was a question that he was asked that, apologies, I don't know who asked the question. I imagine they're not even listening. I'm stealing your question.
You never know.
Because it was so funny. And it's not game related either. It just really tickled me. Would you rather be sticky or itchy?
Oh.
Now,
That's a really tough one.
I think sticky creates itchy.
Well,
I said this to Dulcie.
Mutually exclusive.
Yeah, because I said because I'm like you. I'd pick sticky.
I'd pick sticky because
I'd pick itchy.
Because I don't want to be
sticky,
itchy.
and I thought everyone was like, "Why, be itchy?" But in my mind, if you're that itchy, perpetually itchy, you'll do damage.
I take
You're
skin
eventually going to be taking skin off, aren't you?
Yeah.
But if you're sticky, that implies a sense of like moisture, which will also damage you over time.
No, because moist skin's good. You might be a bit pruned.
Ever heard of trench foot, Brad?
Okay, yeah, fair. Okay, no, that is.
It really depends on what level.
Say if your hands are always wet, you're going to end up like with that when you've been in the bath too long.
Yeah, pruned.
Yeah, pruned. And then eventually your fingertips will fall off.
I think it depends on the intensity of both. Is it lightly itchy and lightly sticky, or extremely itchy and extremely
contact
sticky?
adhesive?
I'm getting itchy now just talking about it.
Yeah, I'm starting to feel uncomfortable.
I'm
going to throw that one out quickly because, as you just mentioned, trench foot. I went to download one year and it was starting to get wet, and just raining a little bit. And I went into the town to go and get something to eat in the village because we do it every so often. And I just cracked a joke, stood outside the pub, said, this weather's playing havoc with my trench foot. And the guy next to me had trench foot and never stopped talking to me for the next 2 hours about his trench foot. It was the biggest mistake I've made.
How many of your toes have fallen off, mate?
I couldn't. How'd you politely go, oh, fuck, it was a
I was only joking. Oh, no.
Mistakes were made. So what we saying? We're saying Jake, sticky,
but
Ben,
I feel like you would get itchy.
Yeah. Joe,
I'm itchy.
now.
No, I'm going to pick team itchy.
And I'm picking team sticky.
3 against 1, Joe.
Yeah.
Well, you made that way worse than it had to be. Thanks, Brad.
Shall we get to some games?
Let's do it.
Mr. Itchy himself. Do you want to tell us what you've been
going first? God, what have I been playing? I've been playing quite a lot actually this time, which is unusual for me. Normally I only have the one game to focus on, but I was recently gifted a Switch 2.
Gifted a Switch 2?
How the other half lives.
Sort of gifted, and I put a bit of money towards it so I could get upgraded to a Switch 2. So Courtney was going to replace my Switch 1 because the fan's going on it and it's always loud. And it's putting me off playing games on it because it's really annoying to listen to. So we were looking on Amazon and she saw that the OG Switch 1 was £249.
Yeah, it's gone up in price.
Deal.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I bought mine for less than that.
I'm pretty sure we did have a news segment 6 months ago that it was going up. Yeah.
So then the Switch 2 was only £100 more than that. It was $349 on Amazon. I don't know if it was on a deal or if that's just what the price they are now.
Nintendo marketing working its magic.
Yeah,
might as well.
The old generation, too difficult to buy.
Yeah.
And then so I got a copy of Pokopia with it. With
nice.
my
it was only £350.
Yeah.
With the
That's
game?
really not bad.
Not with the game. I bought the game.
Okay.
But still,
yeah, it's not bad.
That was
really
what my
good.
100 extra investment going, because she was just going to buy the Switch.
Yeah, but still.
And then I was like,
awesome.
I can upgrade my console and get a game for £100, basically.
Nice. So are you going to tell us about the Switch 2?
It does.
It's crap. I sent it back.
It does. It feels premium. Like,
Do you know what?
I have heard that.
Somebody has said that to me before.
Yeah, like it's got, you know, when you get a new car and the dashboard has a specific type of plastic used for it, where it's like soft touch.
Oh.
So it's like it's not rock hard and you knock on it. It's like I really don't know how to explain what else has this texture to it.
I actually think I know what you mean, but I kind of feel like the normal Switch has it.
At least it's not sticky.
I feel like it only had it on the Joy-Cons and it like disappeared after a while. It went shiny.
Yeah.
It seems a lot more, I don't know, like thickly coated and whatever it is.
And then the magnetic Joy-Cons.
I was really worried that like magnets. Surely that's not as strong an attachment as like a rail slider that locks in. I can't pull them off like with my hands on their own. Like if I'm holding the Switch like that, I can't pull the thing off without releasing the trigger mechanism. So it's pretty bloody strong magnet holding it.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah, and I thought they'd like rattle left and right, like, you know, because they're not on a rail. But my old Switch is more rattly.
Yeah, mine's quite rattly. Yeah.
I think that's just from having over time, you slide the Joy-Cons in and out. The tolerance is loosened a little bit. With the magnet, you're not really going to have that because there's not that much contact happening anyway. And the only thing that pushes the magnet away is a tiny little plastic nub that pushes out of the Joy-Con, and that releases the top half of the magnet mechanism, and then they just pull off really easily.
Nice.
Cool.
And it still makes the Switch snap when you slide it in. But it's like, I can't tell if the speaker is doing it or if it's the actual magnet mechanism that's doing it. But it just feels really good when you attach your Joy-Cons again.
That's
nice.
Mouse functionality is really good. I've been using that in Pokopia. I just wish you could turn up the sensitivity, because when you're looking at a big screen, you want to move all the way across. It goes at the same speed as it would on the console screen. It just
how is the screen, like the portable screen?
It's good. It feels more vibrant. I don't know if it is a better panel. It's just.
Did you have the OLED?
No, I didn't have the OLED.
Okay,
But I don't think the new one is an OLED screen.
Oh, it's not. No, you're right. No, it's not. Yeah.
But it came at like half brightness, and it still was brighter than my original Switch at full brightness. So it can go a lot brighter. Battery life, I've not had it run out yet. It came with 75% charge in it already, which is pretty good. The dock isn't anything to write home about. It works the same as the original one. It's just a different shape.
Yeah.
It has more room in the back for like wires and stuff to tuck in, but that's about it. They can dock with a case on the console though, which is good. I got a third party like plastic wrap that puts like grips on the back of the Joy-Cons, so it's not as like hand crampy, and that still fits in the dock with that attached.
Oh, nice.
Well, I suppose it just covers the screen, doesn't it? I imagine it would with the.
No, it doesn't cover the screen. It covers the back, and like there's a cutout for the stand or backrest to like come out from the back of the case as well.
Okay, cool.
But yeah, that all works fine. Pokopia is really good.
Nice.
It's a cozy game, so you can kind of like stifle your progress by investing too hard into it, and then you get stuck at a wall because you got to wait for a Pokemon that's only out during the night or during the day.
Right.
And that syncs up with real time. You don't go through day-night cycles.
Is that as egregious as it is in like Animal Crossing, where you have to wait days?
No, it's not that bad.
Yeah. So worst case, you have to wait till night.
There are things like buildings that your Pokemon can make that do require like actual time to build. Like at the minute I'm building, it's called the Pink Hut. And it's just, it's like a plaster sort of like old Japanese style building with like wooden pillars. But that said, we'll be ready tomorrow. And most of the time it gives you an exact time when it'll be ready. Well, this one just said tomorrow. So I don't know when that's going to be. I imagine now that the day has passed, it'll give me a closer time. But it don't say like 24 hours or whatever. It just gives you
I was going to say,
ready.
Has it ever gone over 24?
I've not found one, but I feel like there will be some.
So maybe
there's some pretty big buildings that get built.
Yeah.
Like
maybe it has a 24-hour limit and it just says tomorrow or Friday.
3 days, something like that. Probably,
yeah. But cool.
Oh, keep it updated.
Other than Pokopia, I've downloaded the Denshattack demo, if you guys remember this.
Yesterday.
The train one, not the bus
train
one.
skateboarding.
Nice.
It's really good. Yeah. It's really fun. I've only played one level of it so far, but I kept replaying that one level over and over until I perfected it.
Yeah.
It's a bit like you remember when we were talking about Ollie Ollie World, where each level has like dares or challenges, and you get a star for each one?
Yeah.
And you get a star for completing all of them, a star for best time, and then a star for just completing the level. So every level's got so many replays you can do. And they've all got different train tracks you can move along. So the first level, I think, has 3 diverging paths. They all meet together at the end. But there's so much that goes on. Like one of them goes past a bunch of Easter Island heads. Then you go up a ramp, and the camera angle switches so you're looking at the Easter Island heads and your train's in the background. And you got to do tricks over the heads, land on another ramp, and then it zooms you off like above an ocean. Oh, it's so cool. Like there's so much going on. It feels a bit like Crazy Taxi, but on rails.
It aesthetically, I know what you mean. It kind of looks a bit like
Jet Set Radio is what
crazy,
I compared it to a
like
lot.
Crazy Taxi, yeah.
It's so fun. I can't wait till the game's out.
Well, when does it come out?
I don't know. I feel like
Ben might tell us in an upcoming episode.
Yeah.
After the research has been done.
Yes.
So it's definitely
this year.
And it's a day one game for you.
Oh, yeah. I'll be buying it.
Cool.
I'm glad that it has like multiple things going on, because I was a little worried that it was just going to be on rails.
Well, yeah. Well, I was worried about that too, but the amount of the trick system works like Skate, so you use the right stick to do tricks. And if you're doing an ollie with a whole train car, it goes so quick because you can go over ramps at the right angle and you get a boost. Yeah, it's faster than the normal boost. You can drift around corners, and it does like this. You know the balance mechanic from Tony Hawk's.
Yeah, for the
like
manual.
You try and keep it in the middle. You get a boost if you get that perfect or good or okay. You get a different boost depending on which one. And then what else do you can jump. You can do it's called a slam dunk, which you can just stop dead in the middle of the air and slam down like Mario's thing in 3D Mario games.
Oh yeah.
Bounce. So you can do that as a train. Yeah. And there's loads of different trains. I've only unlocked 2 because it's the demo. I think they might limit you to that.
Yeah.
But they have different specialities. Like some do better in aerial, like stay higher in the air so you can get more tricks off, or some get more from different boost pads. But yeah, I fully recommend you guys download the demo. I think
is it only on Switch?
I think it's only on Switch, but I don't know if it's only on Switch 2 or Switch 1 and 2.
And is that just the name because I'm terrible? Denshattack, yeah.
That's
Denshattack,
yeah. It might be on Steam.
So it's Switch 2, Steam, PS5, X, and S.
Oh, so it's everywhere.
What about the demo?
Oh yeah, the demo.
The demo might just be on Switch.
You can get it on Steam.
Says demo available Steam. It says 17th of June.
Oh, there we go.
Not long to go.
Maybe I'll try the demo.
Yeah, do.
I
think you'll really enjoy it.
Obviously, Googled that.
Yeah.
I do like that they've done a demo because
yeah,
it gets people hyped for this.
Oh, definitely, I love demos.
The music in it's really good as well. In the levels, it's so like bouncy and cool and like hype. But other than my Switch 2 gallivanting, I did download another game on my DS, my modded DS.
Oh.
I've been playing Pokemon Soul Silver.
Oh, it's
you've had a very Pokemon.
Yeah, I finished Pokemon X and I thought, well, do I start playing other 3DS games or do I go back to like almost the beginning? Everyone's been playing like Fire Red and Leaf Green, so I'll just go the next one across.
Yeah, why not?
Pokemon Soul Silver, and it's good. I've not even gone to the first gym yet. I've already sunk 4 hours into it.
Man, it's
wow.
I honestly, it's the best Pokemon game in my opinion, and then it's one of my all times. It's great.
I feel like it's not got my favorite Pokedex, but it's got a good vibe.
Yeah, and like the remake is like peak Pokemon as well.
See, I never played the original. I did get Heart Gold and I enjoyed it, but it's not. I don't know if it's just because I didn't have the nostalgia for it, but it didn't.
Maybe it is the nostalgia.
Yeah.
I hadn't played a second generation game since Pokemon Crystal, and that was the game. So it's good to get back into that world where you have to train up Pokemon individually now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Again, Pokemon Yellow.
That's where the 4 hours have come from, getting everyone up to level 10 before the first gym.
I think I'd rather listen to 100 more hours of Jake and Joe talking about Pokemon than 1 more hour of you talking about Factorio. Sorry. Was that harsh?
To bring back from the harshness, what star did you pick? And it has to be Cyndaquil.
Always.
Has to be Cyndaquil.
I love of Godzilla.
Yeah, that's true.
For
He's got the
alligator,
spines on his back. I called him Goji, you know.
Nice.
I nickname all my mons.
Why not
Oh,
Gojira?
I forgot about that, yeah.
Because Goji's cuter, dude.
True. It's not a band, though.
That's true, it's not. But yeah, let's move on from me. I've already taken up like 15 minutes.
Ben.
I haven't played Factorio,
remember what I just said.
So I've been creating another factory on my server, and it is designed as sushi. I'm kidding. I'm not going to tell you all again.
You had me for a second there.
Yeah, how does in the first?
I was about to invoke the powers of being the host.
It is a bit of Windrose and a bit of Factorio. Sorry, not a lot from me.
Tell us more about Windrose.
Yeah, Windrose. You only gave us a little snippet before.
I am really enjoying it. It's very Souls-like fighting, which means I'm awful at it. It's the building is really good because I say this as a positive. You can clip things. So
I think I remember you saying that last time.
There's no snapping, is there either?
No, it does. It does in a certain way. Like if you've placed one wall, the next wall will snap to it. But at the same time, you can angle it through something else, or you know what I mean. Like you can just make things look really cool, or really badly because you lost your temper. That's definitely not me at all.
I think last episode you were telling us like you were still pretty low level, so your equipment wasn't great. Have you managed to get any more stuff?
Yes. Well, I've got to the next sort of seems to be in bosses. So I sailed around for a long time and didn't really find a lot of islands. Seemed to be a lot of open space.
Too much water, 7 out of 10.
Yeah. Ooh.
We'll get to 7 out of 10s later.
Yeah.
It seems to have unlocked the location once I've done the boss, if that makes sense.
Oh, so like the island spawns?
Yeah, it seems to have done that.
Okay, yeah.
And it's a whole new set of problems, new set of things to fight. There's wolves on it, which are horrible things. And rams, which are just as horrible because you have a very small health and all you have to do is get headbutted once, and that's that.
I know you can build bases. Can you build boats too? Is that part of it, or are the boats like a set?
You do, but they are preset.
Right. Okay.
So you still have to get the resources to build it.
Yeah,
and you have to get the blueprints to do that as well.
Okay. It'd be cool if they make it so you could customize them later.
Ryan, who I've been playing a little bit with, has just unlocked a Blackbeard ship, and it is ginormous.
Oh, cool.
Nice.
It is really cool.
Do you need a crew to run it like on Sea of Thieves?
They've done it quite well. It's quite basic to sail. It is literally go and stop.
Yeah,
right, yeah.
You don't have to mess with the masts like Sea of Thieves or anything like that. You don't have to do anything. You basically get on the wheel and steer. The crew, you don't have to look after them. Once you've got them, you've got them.
Oh, they're like part of the boat.
They just stay on the boat. They run everything.
I see.
And if you're on a friend's boat, you can go up to the cannon and the crew member will jump out of the way so you can fire that side.
That's cool.
That makes sense?
I like that.
But you can also do cool things like stand on the side of the rigging and look off into the distance like
majestically.
Yeah. So that's it. That's the game sold to me.
Yeah.
So do you have to hire the crew, or does the crew just come pre-built with the ship?
It's a story. It's a story to get our crew.
Okay. Yeah.
You
That's
go
good.
and free them from random captive areas, and then you've got our crew. So you can have multiple ships out, and it'll just be the same crew on each boat that you get on.
That's something that I wish Sea of Thieves would have done. Like at least at the ports, you could have hired like people to fill the boat or whatever. So you could have boats on your own.
Yeah.
Would you say you a crew?
You a crew.
I'm not even going to acknowledge you today.
Times.
How's like the story then? Because I know you're saying it's early access, but there is still a story there.
It's actually quite good. There's a little bit of reading, which I'm not fully into, as we all know.
So it's not voice acted then?
No.
Okay.
You go up to somebody and you have to flick through the different conversations and stuff and get sent to a new place. But it tends to unlock a waypoint, go out there, do the thing. So you can get as in depth as you want to get with it, really. I generally know the gist of why I'm going there. But yeah, the boss I've fought so far, cannot remember his name, something Richards, I think. And he was a rather portly man, and he had a massive, like, hammer-esque weapon. And oh my god, the health he had!
Was he like a proper Souls boss? Like, say it's quite.
Oh god, yeah. I wouldn't have done him on my own. Not a chance. Ryan coming to help me, and I'm level 4, and Ryan's 8, I think. So him coming back to the first boss was quite easy for him. But
would you say you were underleveled for the first boss, or is that supposed to be?
Maybe. I'm not sure.
Like level 4 or 5.
I think it'd have taken me half an hour at least to kill him if I'd have done it on my own. Wow. It's proper Souls-like fighting. I'm not joking. Yeah. And that's if I would have dodged it, because it's all over if it hits you twice. So
yeah,
it would have been very frustrating.
Fair,
yeah, but really cool. As I said, I probably wouldn't have done it on my own at this stage if you hadn't come to help me. I'm on to my next wave of building. The next thing's unlocked.
Cool.
Happy days. Enjoying it.
Nice. Do you want to talk about Factorio or?
I really do, just to annoy you.
Okay.
Actually, I haven't done a massive amount on it. I've just been working on the same factory. There's nothing really new to report.
Yeah, fair. Cool.
Yeah, that's about me.
All right, Jake.
So, on mine and Brad's travels around the Norwegian fjords, I wasn't looking at the fjords. I was staring at Disco Elysium on my Steam Deck.
Nice.
The whole time.
What is Disco Elysium?
Running around in circles like a madman.
That sounds like a very Factorio game.
So, I'm assuming most of you have heard of Disco Elysium.
I keep getting it confused with this game, Dead as Disco.
No, yeah, no,
it's definitely not that.
Yeah, that's a new game.
Yeah.
So
Disco Elysium is Ben's worst nightmare.
Yeah, it's kind of a book as a video game. I'm not going to lie, but you don't read because there's a lot of voice acting. Everything's voice acted, to be fair. I'm actually been a bit nervous to talk about this because it's so weird.
So Disco Elysium is a lot of people, like maybe not most, but a lot of people who've played it say it's like
one of the best.
Yeah. Top 10 games of all time.
Like, I enjoyed it.
Have you finished it now?
I finished it. I finished it last night.
Nice.
The night we got back.
Hot off the press.
Stayed up till midnight to finish it.
Oh, you rebel.
I don't share that sentiment, but at the same time, I don't think it's bad. I just don't think it completely gelled with me.
Do you think that's because you played it handheld?
No.
Well, explain what it is, because
I was just going to get to
what the gameplay of this game actually is.
So, I think the best way of explaining it is it's sort of a point-and-click RPG where you play as a detective, and you're mostly talking. So it's kind of like a talking, doing RPG, but you're not like getting into fights.
Sounds like a Professor Layton game.
I mean, you do kind of get into a fight near the back end. But there are like, so you wake up and you basically have amnesia. You don't remember anything. You just know you've got a massive hangover. And you quickly learn that you're a detective working for the RCM, which are the police force in, I think it's called Revachol, or Martinez. I think Martinez is the town and Revachol's the city. It's kind of post-revolution France. Is probably the best way. I don't think it's. I think it's still fictional, but it is like that. Very similar to that. Like a lot of them speak in a French accent and maybe even say French words sometimes. But
I say French words sometimes.
Poisson.
Poisson.
The RPG elements come into it with different parts of your brain, and they're all like illustrated as weird abstract paintings, these different parts of your brain, and you can put skill points into those. And when you start the game, you obviously you pick what you want to be. I picked a thinker over like a butch guy, but you always play as the same guy. You don't know his name until unless you go figure it out.
Wow. That's a side quest.
Yeah, basically. To figure out your name.
Who am I?
Fantastic.
You don't know who the hell you are, but then these parts of your brain, as you're like doing stuff, butt in and say stuff and like help you out. And then they'll be the things you roll dice against. And you
Wait,
don't
you roll
always.
dice?
Yeah, you
it's
roll
a proper
dice.
CRPG.
Yeah.
Oh.
Like there's only some
I know-
checks you have to do dice with.
I know there's a very early dice roll for like getting up out of a chair or something, and if you get like a nat 1, you die, and you just
Oh my god,
the game ends.
Yeah, there is a. I wouldn't even say
Wow.
that's early because I'd only did that. So I started it before on the holiday. I only did that on
Yeah.
holiday. The chair bit.
Wow, yeah.
It could be early though. It depends if
Mm.
you pass the check to do something else to get to the chair. But the chair was probably one of the funniest bits, to be honest.
Mm.
You get offered a chair to sit to this like union leader, and he's very swarmy, and he just comes across as super
Is that
corrupt.
suave and smarmy mixed together?
Yeah, it is. And to be fair, that perfectly describes his character.
Yeah,
'cause that
it's
is
what-
him.
But what was it last week? Last episode?
Cohesive.
Cohesive.
There you go.
Cohesive. All over again.
But yeah, he kind of like makes your skin crawl almost without like,
Oh.
because you find out your name. Well, I'm not gonna. Yeah, I won't spoil it because you'll find out what your name is, I suppose.
Yeah, because I want to play it, and you're supposed
Yeah.
to go in kind of blind.
And he'll keep
aren't
repeat. You keep saying your name like your friends, and it's just yeah. But the chair, when you sit in the chair, you have to start rolling to see how, because the chair's awful, and you start taking damage and stuff like that.
It's supposed to be a really well written, funny
It's
game. I
super
think that's
well
what,
written,
Yeah,
and
that's what holds it up.
Yeah,
for me.
The way you described it to me, I did not think it was like. I thought it was going to be some sort of like synthwave, cyberpunky sort of world.
The
but
name
it
is
had
weird.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Was it-
Does it
Nothing to do with revolutionary France.
Yeah.
explain the name at all? Because I
little
don't know
bit.
where it comes from.
a little bit. You were like, I'm assuming you're in your 50s.
Hmm.
And you used to be into disco, baby. I don't know.
Revolutionary France.
you,
It was
you do,
disco.
you do finger points sometimes.
I've watched Les
Have you
Mis,
been
and it was
sent back
mostly
in time
opera.
or something?
I haven't got a clue, mate. Most of this game, I don't know what the hell was going on. So you're a
You're
detective.
really selling it.
I know. So
Yeah.
so you got these voices in your head, and they sometimes say stuff. Some of them are helpful. Some of them aren't. Like the ones I picked thinker, and I feel like most of those were helpful. So it was like logic, and it'd be like logically, this makes sense, and it'll just come in and butt in. But then occasionally, if drugs or alcohol come up in the conversation, you'll have electrochemistry pop up and just go, you'd do a lot better if you were on speed right now. And you can obviously find all this in the world, and you can go get smashed or take loads of drugs, and that will help or not help your.
And,
Are you sure this is like in the 1500s or 1400s?
I don't think he meant the actual French Revolution.
Yeah, this is why I said it was like a fictional.
I
was gonna say.
think, yeah.
But it's set in some kind of
on speed, guys.
it's set in some kind of like past, because you've got guns and they're not like
The flintlock pistols.
yeah.
Mm.
There's all sorts going on, and there's a lot of politics in it with like left and the right and union workers, communists, and all sorts. And it's very like high.
Bourgeoisie.
Yeah, I don't really know how to put it.
You have been dreading talking about this.
Yeah. I don't think I'm smart enough to talk about it.
It's a very
That's enough points into
sophisticated
brains.
game, isn't
Yeah,
it?
it's very sophisticated. And obviously, like it, you can pick where you go. I just went straight down the center most of the time, and I was getting the mick taken out of me by both sides most of the time.
Yeah, it calls you a dirty centrist, doesn't it? If you go down the center too much. I've heard that.
But yeah, you're basically trying to solve a murder. There's a man hanged behind this cafe, and apparently you've already been there for 3 days, and you went on from what I can tell, you went on an absolute bender, and you keep finding out because you haven't got your badge, you haven't got parts of your equipment, and you end up finding it, and it's a whole thing. Every time I learned more about what I did the night before I woke up, the more I was like, oh my God, who is this guy?
It's like, dude, where's my car?
Yeah, but then it like wraps up nicely in a little bow. I do think it's very well written, but I wasn't like the end. Just really, maybe not. It didn't confuse me, but I just don't think it wrapped up as nicely as the rest of the game.
I think bear in mind that I think there's multiple endings and there's like infinite paths you can take to get to the ending, and it pulls all your decisions together, and there's probably things you didn't do, and you know what I mean? So I think it's one of those where it does a good job, from what I've heard, of tying it together, considering the amount of branching paths.
Because I don't want to spoil it as well. I can't really go into massive details.
Yeah.
I've already talked about the chair.
I've already talked about
the one-timer kind of game.
Yeah.
Once you've done it, you know.
And I know Brad's going to
No, I think that's the point. I think it's one of those games where you can replay it
so
50 times and get a different experience.
But how long is it?
Do you know what? I would tell you, but because I kept putting it into sleep mode,
2,000 hours.
Hours are racking up. It said 2,500 hours.
I believe it's about.
And I don't think that's the case.
That's too long for replayability.
Yeah. I think it's 20 if you
1,000 maybe.
Yeah.
I think it's 20 if you don't do all the side stuff, or maybe 30 if you do all the side stuff. It's a lot of walking back and forth and talking to different people. It's very talking simulator sort of thing. And you're just discovering more as you go. As a detective piece, it's really good because you keep finding twists and turns in the story.
Is there a case that you were on before you went on this bender that you're still trying to solve?
This hanging man.
Yeah, the hanged man. Yeah.
Right, okay.
And you're trying to find out what happened to him and who murdered him, basically.
I bet it was you and you drunk to forget.
It wasn't. I thought about halfway through. I was like, what if it was me?
Oh, no, I did it.
But I will definitely say it's not you.
Spoilers.
Yeah. Don't know what else to say about it. You got any more questions?
No. I feel like you've turned me off this game.
You've made it way worse for everybody.
One thing I'd like, not necessarily to ask, but for you to talk about is like the art style, because every time I glanced over, I kind of thought that's a nice looking game.
Yeah, the art style is really good. It's almost like painted.
It's
realistic.
like Dredge. It's like all the characters in Dredge. You know, when it has those.
I did like that about Dredge.
Yeah.
But it's like a whole game.
The whole world's like that.
What's your user interface like? What's what point are you over the shoulder? Is it first person?
It's top down.
Oh god, no! You're really turning me off it now.
It's top down.
If it was like first person, I've enjoyed that.
It's not top down though. It's like isometric, isn't it?
Oh god, that's even worse.
No, I mean it is
an isometric hawking simulator. What are you doing? It's like all the most boring versions of games slammed into one.
What are you on about? Isometric? Why is isometric boring?
I just equate it with old, dull 98.
He says games. Playing Pokemon Soul Silver.
It's not isometric.
Yes, it is.
It's grid based.
Yeah, but isn't it an isometric view?
Yeah, but we're talking about a game that was like from the early 2000s here. Disco Elysium's recent.
It's recent. It is recent. But as I say, it is like when I say critically acclaimed.
Like literally, I looked at that backlog website and it's got mostly 5 out of 5.
Yeah,
I feel like I'm going to come in and rate it like a 7 out of 10 and get slammed.
I feel like you might be feeling how I felt with Claire Obscure with this, where everyone's like, "This is the best game in the world," and you're like,
"Maybe
it's good, but it's not that."
Yeah,
there's no Witcher 3.
Yeah, I mean, I think you have to go into it with different expectations too. Like as a Ben, Joe, you don't sound like you would like this at all.
No. If I've got to put 20 hours into that, then no.
You've got to really go into it with the expectation that it's not an action game. It's a detective puzzle. I won't even say puzzle solving, really. It's a detective game, and you are talking to people.
Yeah, but it's like a role playing game first and foremost. Like almost like
it is, because you could play it again and do completely different things. It'll change the story. I wouldn't say you're still going to get the same somewhat ending, but it's going to change a lot of how it plays out.
Do you think it changes how the case is solved? Like, if you'd make different decisions, is it a different suspect?
I don't know if it'd go that far, because I think my biggest gripe with it is it gets a little linear sometimes, where you can't progress the story unless you pass a certain check with the dice roll.
Right.
You have to talk to, so you'll be like stunted, but you don't know that's what's stunting you. If that makes sense.
Oh, so you just have to press whatever it is to roll the dice over and over again so you get the right result.
So every day, there's certain checks that you can do once per day in the game.
Oh my God, it limits you by days as well.
Or
in-game days.
Oh, right.
In-game days.
Okay. We're not playing Pokopia right now.
Pokopia,
goddammit. But you can level, if you level up, let's say you need to pass a rhetoric check. You can level up rhetoric and that'll reset all the checks on the map. So you can then go back and try it again if you want. But you got to level it up. But there's still loads of crazy side stories going on, loads of crazy characters, very well voice acted. And it does look really pretty.
Do you want to hear a fun fact? When the game first came out, it wasn't voice acted.
Yeah, so this is the final cut version.
They add that in later.
Yeah. It was actually just all text. You had to read everything.
Okay, that's definitely hell for Ben on this game.
No,
I don't think I would have enjoyed that at all.
Do you think if it was novelized, I would enjoy it more than playing the game?
I don't know, because some of the voice acting is amazing. Like, it's very like brutal voice acting. Like
if it was
like Witcher 3,
your own adventure novels,
maybe.
I bet
it's like Witcher 3.
That's probably the best way to describe it.
But on drugs, I suppose that's very apt. Because you can be on drugs.
Yeah. Cool.
But yeah, I would recommend it if it sounds good to you, if you like detective games. But it did stunt me a few times with where the hell am I going? Oh, I've got to pass that one check, really? And then there's one bit right at the end that before the point of no return, which I literally was running around in circles for ages. Like, where does it want me to go? I don't understand.
Does your guy keep like a logbook of all the information he's collected, or have you just got to remember it?
Yeah, you've got it logged.
Oh, right, okay.
You've got like a task list, and as you do things, it crosses stuff off in that list. So, and it's some crazy things happen. And not even like a crazy shootout. Just
how did you get to this conclusion moment?
Yeah. I think you'll enjoy it, Brad. Just
quite
it's a
like
weird one.
A game that's a bit different sometimes.
Yeah. It'll be interesting. I'm interested to see how you talk about it, because, as I said, I have struggled. I have struggled talking about this one.
You're given a foundation to build on for next time.
Yeah, definitely. But why don't you tell us what you've been playing, Brad?
I've still got so much to talk about, so many games. And some of these games that I've completed so long ago, I'm like, how am I even going to talk about this? So I'm going to do two. I'm going to do a new one and an older one.
Okay.
All right. As in recency from when I played it. So I'll start with the older one. So I played a game, probably finished it now 6 weeks, maybe 6 weeks ago, called Echoes of the End.
Oh, I saw you playing that, yeah.
So it's another God of War like, and I kind of played it off the back of Banishers because I really enjoyed Banishers, which was like a AA, to AAA sort of like working in that sort of region, God of War like game. Yeah, and I really enjoyed it. I thought I could go for more of this type of thing. And Echoes of the End had been on my radar a bit. I remember it coming out. I remember it getting pretty poor sort of reviews and reception. But then they did like a big update on it, and a lot of people said it improved a lot. So I thought, you know what, I can go for that, and it's only quite short. I want to say maybe 12 hours, 10 to 12 hours. So for this type of game, it's quite short. It's not got loads of side quests. It's a very linear game. So I thought, why not? It was on PlayStation Plus. So, and I had a bit of time. So I played through that. And it wasn't as good as Banishers, definitely not. But it wasn't bad. It was like a decent 6 to 7 out of 10 game. But I believe, and I could be wrong, it feels like the developers maybe first attempt at making a game, or at least making a game to this scale.
Yeah,
right.
Because it did feel like it was maybe biting off a bit more than it could chew in parts. But ultimately, it was pretty decent. So you play as, again, because it's been 6 weeks, I can't remember any of the names. So you play as a character. she's, I want to say, what's called a warden. Again, terminology, could be wrong. But what that basically means, she protects the realm. She's like a fighter. She's got a sword, but she's got these like telekinetic abilities.
Ooh.
So that's what really sold me on it. I thought, God of War, but with telekinesis.
Control?
Well, there isn't enough telekinesis in games, and Control did it so well. I thought, maybe this could be like that. It is not. It is not as good as that. But it's not bad. So in combat, you've got like a skill tree, so you do get more stuff as you go on. But like from like the beginning, you've got your normal sword sort of attacks, and then you've got like a telekinesis grab and throw. I think you hold like left trigger and then you flick the stick in a direction. It can be a bit unreliable, but for the most part, you highlight an enemy and you fling them into another enemy or off a cliff or into a wall, or there's some bits of debris in the world that you can pick up and fling. Sort of pretty typical. It could be, if it worked better and a bit more consistent, I think it could be really cool, but it was a bit ropey.
Does the speed in which you flick the stick determine how strong the attack is?
So flick the stick is probably not the right terminology, but just like where you point the stick. So when you're holding left trigger and you move the stick, it sort of shows you the direction.
Yeah. Okay.
The problem is a lot of time when you do flick it doesn't go. It doesn't register. So it can feel a bit slow.
Kind of sounds similar to that game we played for Very By Backlog. I think you picked it, Brad. The one with the powers.
Oh, yeah. Eternal Strands.
That's
you're
it.
probably not far off, actually. Again, that felt a bit unreliable.
Yeah.
I think if I'm not mistaken, I want to say with that game, when you say hovered over someone, it was the right stick to flick, to fling.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
When I want to say it's the left stick and it fell off.
Because you also move with that stick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can
I
imagine.
think it was something like that. It just felt a bit off. But other than that, that's like your main ability. And then you've got like a push. I don't think you have a pull ability. You eventually unlock an ability where you can throw your sword and like telekinesis it back. And then there's an ability to like bring people together in like an orb. You do have a companion character who very much works like Atreus, where they've got like an attack that shocks enemies and they can do different stuff. So eventually,
does it help with the story exposition?
Very much does, because he like helps tell you about the world and stuff. So yeah, definitely helps with that. But the abilities are also used in puzzles throughout. So there's a few platforms you have to pull down, and you've got time to like jump across them. The typical sort of fare. But definitely, when the game first starts, you don't have a lot of abilities, and it doles them out quite slowly. And you really have like no mana whatsoever, and it's a bit of a pain.
So you like force pull and you've run out.
Not far off. There's another ability that's quite cool where you like almost like force choke, but you like drain the life essence away, which heals you. That's basically your heal, but then it also can give you mana back. So
okay.
But as the game goes on and you get more abilities, a lot of them come from the story. So things like a double jump or a jump in the air and dash, or there's one where you like throw this dagger and you can teleport to it. These things, some of them sound basic, some of them are pretty cool, but by the end, when you've got all your abilities, it all starts gluing together. And I'm like, okay, I can start to see this now, but then the game ends. So it's kind of like, it's like, it was so close, but that last kind of like mission, like the first like hour or so, I was like, I'm enjoying this. It's a bit slow, but I'm enjoying this. The middle chunk, say 8 hours, was a bit repetitive. Maybe 6 to 8 hours, a bit repetitive. But then the back section was really good again. So it ended quite well. Basically perfect for a sequel. If they really like refined a lot of this.
Could you do a new game plus so you could start with all your powers and then do the rest of the game with your powers?
I don't think so. But I think that what sort of like emphasizes that AA but first sort of attempt, what sort of emphasizes that, it just feels like it's missing things. So like I wrote down some examples, things like sound effects that just aren't there, like that you feel like there should be. There's no splashing of the water when you're walking in like a fountain. Yeah, like the water doesn't make splashes or anything.
No ripples.
You don't leave footprints in the snow. And it's silly things. And it's the type of thing where if you're a small studio, they've focused on the right things. I would rather they focused on the combat
and the writing and the story and.
Well, because the writing and the story's like decent, and the voice acting's pretty good actually. To be fair, and the voice acting's good. I'd rather they focus on that, which they have done, and then not put the splashing effects.
Because that's the kind of stuff you miss if you're not in the game sphere.
Yeah,
so
but it did feel noticeable. It felt noticeable when there were so many examples like that.
Okay,
where you start saying, okay, it's missing things. I think I sent a video to you guys in our WhatsApp of the fire. Like on the last mission, everything's on fire, but the fire sprites are like 2-dimensional and
like
running
3
at like
frames
5
per second.
Yeah, everything else is fine, but the fire just runs at 5 FPS.
I think I assumed that was like a glitch in a Plague Tale Requiem or something. The way
because it was every single bit.
It doesn't do that thing that smaller studios end up doing, where the music stops looping and you end up with just silence for a while. Does it? Because that really takes me out of the game sometimes.
I didn't notice that. Like the music wasn't anything to write home about, but it wasn't bad, and it was decent enough. So I had no complaints there. The puzzles, another example of like how the combat got better. The puzzles started off pretty boring, but by the end they were really interesting. There was like buildings that would be falling down, and you'd operate this mechanism that would like reverse time.
Ooh.
And it would like put it all back together. But there would be like stages to it. So there was one quite early on actually where there's say like a bridge or something that's broken down, but you don't want to, you sort of move left and right on the stick and it rebuilds it, but you don't want to rebuild it all. You want to rebuild a bit and then take a different route and then rebuild the rest and then take a different route. And you're sort of like, it's not just either built or not built. There's like a few stages between.
There's an enemy in Bayonetta 3 that does a similar thing. You spin on like a spindle and that reverses time, and you can use it to get to places, but time does still gradually go on if you let go of the enemy. But it does it slower. So if you were to get to the top of a building, you climb up the rubble before it gets fixed. Sort of thing.
And there was quite a few elements to that in some of the puzzles, which could be really cool. And there was, I can't remember some of them now, but there was another puzzle that was like an illusion puzzle where all these platforms were invisible. Unless you looked at them through like a portal or something, and you could see where they were, which is pretty typical, like fair. But on one mission, you couldn't see through the portal, so you had to rely on your companion to tell you. So it was like walk forward a few steps, and it's like stop. Okay, walk left. And it sounds silly, but it was quite a cool little segment.
Yeah, there's not a lot of that in games, really. Is there?
And where like if I don't listen to this guy, I'm going to fall off and die.
I'm surprised they didn't do that kind of thing in Split Fiction. Like if only one person could see the platforms.
Well, I think there probably was an element of that in that game, but that game is like a great game. This is like a fine game. So like, the elements that are really good, I'm gonna sort of talk about. Well, one thing I really didn't like, the protagonist was like pretty awful.
Are they like an edgelord?
She's just like really sarcastic but hates everything. She's quite mean. So the character who you're with most of the game is like an older guy, and he's like literally just trying to help. And she's like telling him to shut up all the time. Like, why are you so miserable? He's not like old, but he's like definitely older. And he's like, why are you so like miserable all the time? Like she's pretty unlikable. Towards the end, again, it gets a little bit better. But yeah, she's pretty miserable. I think all in all, though, it was decent. I would definitely recommend anyone like give it a go if you're fancying that sort of action adventure game. On the shorter side, it's on PlayStation Plus. I also think it's on Game Pass. I think it's on both.
Did you play this on console?
I played this on PlayStation. Yeah.
Okay, not on Steam.
No. It also looks pretty nice. Like again, for the size of the studio, it's a nice game. It ran well, other than that 5 FPS fire, but it mostly ran well. So I think it's a decent enough game. As I say, like I don't want to say 6 to 7 out of 10 because 6 makes it sound worse than it is. But you get what I mean. Like a low 7
mid game.
Yeah,
it's very mid, but depends on the team size. What's really commendable is it didn't come out very strong. And they made a lot of changes. Yeah. And, now it's
they cyberpunked it.
No. Not quite.
Not that good.
But also Cyberpunk came out and it was a hot mess. Yeah. So, yeah, this is more like we've listened to your feedback where the gameplay isn't great. Let's make changes. So I don't know what it would have been like.
The kind of studio you look forward to see what they do next.
Yeah.
Yeah, and hopefully they get the opportunity to, because in this
absolutely.
it's really hard for them to. I'll definitely keep an eye out on what they do next. Like when you compare it to something like a Plague Tale, you mentioned before, it's relatively similar in its budget, but it's a bit more to the gameplay.
Yeah.
In this, that was one game. I'll talk about a game I played more recently now. One that I also finished on our holiday and started beforehand, and that's Replaced.
Oh, I just had this downloaded yesterday.
Nice. So for anyone who doesn't know, which I'm sure everyone does at this point, quite new. It's a 2.5D action platformer. Pixel art, cyberpunk world. Absolutely beautiful game. Like maybe one of the best games I've ever seen in motion. I don't know how to describe it. Like the pixel art looks great, but then the environments are kind of 3D voxels.
Is it kind of like Dead Cells sort of art style?
No, I wouldn't.
Because that's a bit pixely, isn't it?
That's right.
I wouldn't say so. Yeah. It is a bit in that it's pixel art, but because it's pixel art, I don't think is necessarily, it looks quite different than this because of the theming behind it, it being cyberpunk, but then the background's being 3D, but then the lighting in this, like, it looks so good. You'll be walking across and there'll be like a window and there'll be light coming through the window, and that sounds silly, and like you walk past it in the shadow, you cast a perfect shadow, and it sounds silly, but with the look of the game, it's like pretty striking.
It works well.
Yeah, I would have loved to have played this on an OLED, because every time I looked at Jake playing Disco Elysium on his Steam Deck OLED, I thought, that looks so good. And my ROG isn't OLED. Just
turn the brightness up.
I do. It's on full all the time. But yeah, so 2.5D, action platformer. It plays very similar, and I think this is good to know before you go into it. It plays quite similar to something like Limbo or Inside, in the way that you feel slow.
Yeah.
Very labored, quite sluggish, but everything is animated with a lot of detail. And, if you, for example, running, left to right and you don't jump over a log, you'll trip over it.
Oh, wow.
That's interesting.
Which is quite, I don't know, it's just quite an interesting mechanic.
So what sort of game
that's the same sort of thing. So it's a 2.5D action platformer.
So is there a lot of combat?
Get it from that.
There is combat. So when you're not in combat and you're doing the platforming stuff, that's when it's quite like Limbo.
Yeah,
right. I've heard some people say Uncharted. I don't know why. I think just because there's kind of a bit of climbing in it and swinging, but not really. And there is a few abilities you unlock, items you might unlock. Like you get a pickaxe quite early on, so you can like dig it into a wall and like swing from it, so you can go a bit further. You can get like a double jump ish later in the game that you can only activate in certain areas. So there are a few like platforming puzzles almost. And yeah, so there's that element to it, and then there's the combat. So the combat is like Arkham, like Batman Arkham.
Oh, it's like reactionary.
Yeah, so you can just punch, and then enemies will get a lightning above their head. That's yellow to parry. Press Y to parry. If it's red, you have to dodge it.
Is that B? Because B's red.
Yes.
Nice.
There's also like guns that the enemies have that you can't. Well, early in the game you can't do anything with. Later you can, but early in the game you have to dodge those. So you might have to push an enemy, that has a gun. Early in the game, that's quite frustrating because you can't sprint, and because it is so slow, if the enemy with the guns at the other side of the map, their gun shoots through everyone, like doesn't hit them. So you kind of have to dodge at the right time, or just try and run through everyone. It's a bit awkward because you can't like sprint. But you do get more abilities later that allow you to deal with that. And then also, not straight away, but quite early on, you get a gun yourself, which has to charge, which charges from, fighting people or parrying. You charge it up. You can like speed up the charge further through the game. Yeah, you can speed up the charge further through the game. But once you get a full charge, it's an instant kill on most enemies. There's some armored enemies that you have to use this pickaxe as like a heavy attack to rip off their armor before. But then usually, again, the pistol will be a one-shot kill once you rip the armor off. What's really cool, though, is if you're close to someone when you shoot them, he does like the sickest animation. Oh, there's loads of them, but like really, really cool animations where they'll like pin you, like, I don't know, rip their arm around, slam them to the ground, like point your gun at them, and the camera will like shift around and you just like headshot them. It just looks, it's framed so well and animated so well. It is, every time it felt cool.
Nice.
It did. It is
when
again.
it does those moments, as it stops being like 2.5D and it goes into like a.
It's still
like
2.5D.
a low res pixel cutscene sort of thing, like a zoom in.
Kind of, yeah. It's still 2.5D. Like your character is still 2D.
Yeah,
but you like just give you a cool angle.
Yeah,
but it doesn't do
kind
that
of
thing
have to
like older games do, like where the camera pans, but the sprite is still 2D and like moves with the camera. It doesn't do that. So you always see like the back of the sprite, even though the camera is like moving.
I don't know. I know what you mean. I don't know how to describe it. It didn't look weird or anything.
Okay.
Yeah. So I don't know how it did it. Whether you just stayed 2D or whether
some things you need to see
the camera. Yeah. It just looked cool. It looked cool. But it is still quite slow. So imagine if Limbo or Inside had combat. Oof. And how slow and laboured that kind of feels. It doesn't feel as fast as Batman.
Right.
No. You know, where you're zipping around everywhere. But it still does feel good. It just takes a minute to get used to. Mm-hmm. I've already talked about how beautiful the world looked. That, by the way, continues throughout the game, and the environments are really interesting. Even though it's a cyberpunk world, you don't actually see a cyberpunk city till like the end, pretty much the last level.
Oh, you start like out in the slums.
Yeah, so you see like slums and stuff, like outskirts cities and stuff, and then like a rundown train station, which is like a home base. There is side quests in the home base. You kind of need to do them because they get you like level up for your health and stuff, but they are like fetch this and find this person, and you know, they're a bit like Final Fantasy 16 side quests. But
carry
with
the egg crate over here.
But with a bit of story, but because it's so slow, the way you move, it can be a bit tedious going left and right, trying to find someone. Because I played a lot of this on the cruise, I couldn't Google anything because we had no internet. So I was literally just going left and right looking for people. So
you're on a cruise and they don't give you free Wi-Fi. What's going on?
You don't even want to know how much that was.
If you wanted Wi-Fi on a sea day, well, any day if you wanted Wi-Fi. If you were on land, you got internet because it's your 3G, your 5G, whatever. If you were inside the boat, it was pretty hard to get 5G, so usually you just didn't. But if you wanted to get internet, it was £20 a day. And that wasn't even good enough to download anything. That was just for like Google and stuff.
Wow.
But
that was for Disco Elysium too, by the way. The detective game, which I was running around in circles with by the end.
So that can be a bit tedious, but it's still, you know. But yeah, a lot of the other environments look just as gorgeous. They've done an absolutely fantastic job. They really have. There is a story to the game.
I would
obviously.
hope so. Yeah.
The story is you're an AI developed by this guy. There's an accident right at the beginning of the game, and you, as the AI, basically wake up in the guy's body.
You replaced him.
Exactly.
Oh.
And you escape the lab essentially as it's blowing up. This is literally the beginning of the game, by the way. And the aim of the game is basically to try and get back to get your AI consciousness out of the body of the guy called Warren, and sort of give him his body back. That's the game.
Yeah, it also helps explain why all this movement is so laboured, because the AI is not used to having a body.
Yeah, you could argue that. Yeah. It's kind of a bit like have you seen the film Upgrade?
No,
if you've
I've
not,
heard of it.
You should watch it because it's really good. But that's the same. It's not the same, but this guy has like an AI implant in his head and it fights for him, so it like controls his body.
I was thinking more the cockroach guy from Men in Black, who moves really weird in the redneck's body.
Yeah. But the story is like decent enough. There is no voice acting. Sorry, Ben. So you do have to read everything.
That's kind of how it comes with 2.5 games, though.
Yeah, it would have been nice to have voice acting, but and I've not confirmed this actually, but I want to say English might not be the first language of the developers because some of the writing is just off.
Right,
and I could be wrong with that. Maybe it is. But I was reading some of it and I had to reread it a few times because it just wasn't written very well. And I've seen a few other people say that since, but just something felt a bit off. It wasn't the end of the world, but it just meant, whereas at the beginning of the game, I was reading everything I was picking up. By the end, I was still reading all the text between characters, but I wasn't reading like the notes.
Yeah.
Because it just wasn't great. But talking of the notes, this is going to be your favorite part of the game, Joe. I guarantee it. When you get this like device, I don't know what to call it, kind of like imagine like a retro cyberpunky sort of like Walkman device. And that's like your menu. Maybe.
Okay.
Maybe.
Cyber death.
Yes. I think it might even be called something like that. But when you find a note in the world, it goes on there and you go like pick it up. And at this point, it goes into first person. So the camera zooms in into your hand. So you can see your hand and you're holding this like Game Boy Color looking thing with like a rotating wheel on the side. And when you're scrolling through it, it makes a satisfying click.
Oh,
but it just looks really cool. Yeah, it looks really cool. It's still like pixel art, but like first person pixel art.
I love when they integrate the UI into actual gameplay.
And you're clicking through these menus. Oh, chef's kiss.
That's what I really loved about Deliver Us the Moon when they did it that way on your ARM computer thing.
Yeah, I get you.
I like that.
This is the best example of that. Like, I'd recommend everyone play it just to experience that, to experience the menu. No, but honestly, it's a really good game. I would recommend everyone sort of give it a go. I am hearing some people say that they were a bit disappointed by it because it feels so laboured. I do think it could have done with being sped up. It was definitely intentional because cyberpunk sort of worlds are meant to be slow and reflective, and it's gritty, and it's all this sort of thing. It might not have got the point across if it was really quick, but I do feel like it might have benefited from being 20% faster.
It's more Blade Runner than Matrix.
Yeah. Yes, exactly that. And it's pretty evident sometimes, like a lot of the time, the text comes up on the screen. I want to say it might come up word for word, but sometimes I was reading it faster than the game was. If that makes
that's
sense.
A pet peeve of mine. That.
Yeah, and you can't skip it. Sometimes you can skip it
at once.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, that never happened. So maybe I'm wrong. Maybe just it does pop up as a block of text, but it gives you so long to read it, and you can't skip to the next when you've read it, and it will automatically skip on. So there was a couple of times when I'd read it,
so it's just a bit slow.
Skip. So I was waiting and it felt slow. There were some times where text would pop up and I'd look over to do something else. Maybe the dogs were doing something and I wanted to stop them. And when I'd look down, the text had moved on. Because
frustrating.
I feel like if you could click next.
Yeah, there should be an ready or a next. But
it just sometimes it would let you do next. Sometimes it doesn't. It's just,
Sounds like a really good game, but everything could use speeding up a bit.
A little bit of polish.
Yeah, I'd say it's a good 8 out of 10.
It's definitely on my radar now, to be fair.
It's an 8 out of 10, but it definitely could have been higher. Like the art, the menu, 10 out of 10. Like honestly, genuinely amazing looking. I can't stress that enough. But a couple of things in the gameplay could be refined. The writing could have been sort of tied up a bit, and then you'd easily be looking at a good 9 out of 10, maybe even that a little bit high 9, but it fell short in some areas. That was me. That was a long.
We've had a lot to talk about this time.
We have. Shall we move on to the news?
Yes. But-ba-doo, it's the news. So luckily we've actually got a somewhat smaller news section. So first we'll talk about...
Is it smaller?
There's no showcase this week.
Sony and DRM.
This feels like so long ago because this dropped just before we went on holiday. We've then
before
been
our last
on
episode came out.
Yeah. So it's one of those where it feels like so long ago since it it happened and kind of resolved.
But it is a
we've got to
continuing
talk about
problem, isn't it?
Well,
it's kind of been resolved.
yes. So do you want to explain where it started, where the issue started, Jake, and then we'll go into it from there.
So basically, I believe it's any game that people were basically discovering any game that they bought from March.
Well, Sony basically silently updated, didn't they?
Yes, they basically had a big update to the PlayStation Store or your PlayStation as well. And any game you bought from March, if people were noticing that there was like a expiry date.
There was a 30-day timer, wasn't there?
Yeah.
That required an internet connection, basically, to prove the license.
Yes.
So it's quite a typical like DRM, digital rights management.
And that happens for PS Plus games, Game Pass games. You have to be logged on for
games
so long.
You don't own.
But if you're buying a game, there shouldn't be a thing. Like you own the game.
Because what are you paying for otherwise?
You own the license. You'd be able to download it on the internet and then play it offline as much as you want. So obviously everyone's up in arms like, what? So you're going to take away our purchased games? And rightfully so.
Sony didn't say anything for ages.
Yes, they didn't come out and make a statement for ages.
Yeah. So when
it was just quickly, like also the only way of proving that this would happen after people had seen the expiry date. This was on PS4. You couldn't even see it on PS5, but on PS4 you could see an expiry date. But because it hadn't been a month at this point for people to actually check, what people were doing was opening up PS5 and I can't remember what it's actually called, but essentially taking out turning off the part that clocks,
the clock chip.
Yeah, that clocks the time, so that when they booted up the PS5 again, they couldn't play any of these purchased games that they bought from March onwards. They could still do it for any games they'd bought at any other time, just any game bought from March onwards.
Yeah. Now, this was obviously when this first broke, everyone up in arms. It's one of those where DRM has been a big problem. Problem is one sort of like the way to look at it, but it's been a big problem on like other platforms as well, like PC. Yeah. Now, it's a game dependent thing. GOG, Green Man, is it GOG? The
Good Old
platform, Games. Good Old Games, they only sell games DRM free. So their whole policy is we don't sell games with DRM, but Steam do, and it's game dependent. So some games have DRM, some games don't. It's not a requirement for Steam games to have DRM, but so some games buy on Steam, they're yours, keep them, whatever. Some games have DRM, you have to log in every 14 days, 30 days, whatever, and whatever is set by that DRM to prove you own the game. So it's always been an issue. So when this obviously kicked off with Sony, I was like, okay, yes, I get that it's a bad thing, but they're not the only people doing it. Again, like it's bad. And also, if you've bought the game digitally, because this does only affect digital purchases, if you've bought the game digitally, chances are you have an internet connection. So yes, it's bad, but how many people is this really going to affect?
The people I've seen that it would affect the most are people who may be deployed in other countries. I've seen a lot on the Reddit. People like, I've been in a place with no internet connection for a long time, so you can't play your games.
That's fair.
But does it then, if you log back in after 30 days, you get the license back?
Yeah.
Right, okay. So if after 30 days you lose access to your game, you can still get it back. That's
and I was kind of thinking like, okay, you could always just mobile hotspot it for like 2 minutes, get your license. It's awkward, it's annoying, it's a faff.
The problem is they've gone from not doing this to doing this.
Yes.
Exactly. My argument runs back down the Game Pass route because this tech is clearly there. So why do we have to always have a Game Pass connection?
The thing with Game Pass offline is you don't
own them.
You don't own them.
You've rented it for a month. Why isn't the same principle applied to Game Pass?
I don't understand that, because on PC it doesn't.
Yeah.
Like I play most of my games on my ROG with Game Pass, and I don't need to connect to the internet.
Right, yeah.
Because I was playing them on the cruise. There is an awkward element, which I'm just going to quickly share this anecdote. When I was playing Hades, which I will get to, I just realized, spoilers, I'm playing Hades 2. When I was playing Hades 2, before I left, it was. I played it in, put it in hibernate mode and was playing it, and I had it open. Anyway, the game had an update because I was playing it in because I was still playing it and just turning it off into hibernate mode. It knew it had an update, but it wasn't making me do the update. However, when I closed it, played replaced, and then tried to reopen it when I was on the cruise, because it knew it needed an update, I couldn't boot the game. But I couldn't download the update. I couldn't download the update. I had no internet, so that was frustrating. But yeah, on PC, it's not an issue. So I don't know why on Xbox.
I know why PS5. Why it's done this for at least on PS5, because the console has been cracked. So this is a way to get the games to be unpirated.
This is what has happened
exactly
since. Eventually, and I think Sony have now commented on this, but. So the console has been cracked, and the way people were basically getting these games is they were buying legit versions of games,
ripping the disc, and then refunding the game because you got a 14-day refund policy.
Yeah, I think it's 2 hours playtime, something like
2 hours playtime, but 14 days.
I don't actually on PlayStation. I don't even think you're allowed playtime.
Oh, maybe not. It's 2 hours on Steam.
Download the game if you play it. That's it.
But it's definitely 14 days. So you got 14 days to return it. So people buying the games, extracting the permanent license, because previously, before March, you'd buy a game, you'd get your permanent license.
Yeah.
But you're extracting the permanent license, refunding the game, and then you can use that permanent license on a cracked PlayStation to save the game. That's how people were doing it. So what this DRM does is sometime within the first 30 days, well, actually within the first 14 days, the system needs to randomly validate
your license.
Your license. Once it's validated the license within that first 14 days. In fact, it's once the first 14 days have passed.
Yes.
Sorry,
yeah.
Once the refund window is passed and it validates your license, then it switches to a permanent license.
Yeah. So it doesn't have to do it ever again.
So if you were to purchase the game, extract the license at that moment and refund the game, it would only be a 30-day license.
Yeah. So that's why it's coming up with this expiry. It's coming up with this expiry.
This isn't going to stop people doing it with offline PlayStations, though, is it?
Well, no, because of this internal chip thing or whatever it is. I don't know.
So basically,
if you've cracked your PlayStation, though, you can revert it to a certain firmware level, so it won't do that check ever.
I don't know.
So as long as you got the game on disc, it wouldn't matter. Then you can just
I think it's more so that they won't. I don't think people will be able to refund it because the time will have passed. If that makes sense.
That's what this is trying to stop. Basically, it's stopping people extracting the permanent license because you only get the permanent license once the refund window expires.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
So once you can no longer refund it, you get a permanent license. But whilst you're in that 14-day window, it's only a temporary license, which I think is fair enough. Now, again, some people are still like, well, I've purchased the game. Why should I have to? Okay.
I don't think there's really any arguing.
There are some people, and I get it because you might be getting deployed tomorrow and you've bought a game and
a brand new game. Yeah. So,
at some point you have to look at it as the amount of people affected versus the amount of people taking advantage.
Yeah, if you have your business head on, that makes sense.
They've got to do something, and I feel like this is the compromise.
It still doesn't stop you buying the discs, but there's a lot of games that just aren't released on disc now.
The worry is if they can do this, can they do it? Can they change it in the future?
Yes. Can they just revoke your license entirely? And
it was all made
Physical
worse.
Media people.
Yeah.
Physical media.
It was all made worse because it didn't come out and say anything. So they were literally leaving it for people like talking to the PlayStation AI chatbot on the website.
That had mixed messaging because sometimes he said yes, I have to log in every 30 days, and then sometimes we'd say no. So it was confusing. But
it became the very demon they swore to defeat. And Xbox is always online.
Yes.
Well, that's what a lot of people
comment.
That's what a lot of people were saying before the crux of it came out. But
I mean, it still is that. Basically, if you're not always online, you will lose access to your games.
Only the first 14 days.
Yeah.
No, even if you buy one digitally, you'll after 30 days, if you have no internet connection, you won't be able to play it.
No, you can't.
No, you will. Yeah,
this is what we're trying to say. After the refund window expires,
Right.
Your temporary license converts to a permanent license, and then you can play it as much as you want offline for 50 years or whatever, till your PlayStation breaks. You can do that. And then every time you want to re-download it, you have to connect to the internet.
But why would they make this change in secret? Why would they not put it in like an update patch notes?
That's why everyone was up and
that seems really shady.
It does.
That's why everyone was thinking the worst. And
pulling my rights rug from under my feet.
Yeah, you would though, wouldn't you? You haven't said anything. They should have just come out and said something.
I mean, you didn't read the terms and conditions.
Well, the terms and conditions weren't even there to agree to because there wasn't an update.
Anyway, on to some less complicated.
Let's talk about Falco and how weird it looks.
Star Fox is getting a 4th remake. I didn't know it's the 4th time it's getting a remake.
Jeez.
Star Fox 64.
Yeah, because there was one on DS and there's one on Wii U.
Yeah, and they're all like slight remakes, aren't they?
Yeah.
This is like a full remake in terms of like graphics remake, but it's the same gameplay again.
So basically, it's Star Fox 64 with a whole new art style, and I believe like the level layouts are very similar, but they have like updated a lot of it as well at the same time.
There's also cutscenes now, and it's not just text.
The story's the same, essentially. But one of the most controversial things for it is, do you like the art style and how nearly realistic the animals are?
I think the art style and gameplay is fine, by the way. Like, I think that's fine.
Yeah,
the actual ship, the gameplay
that looks cool. Fine, that looks very like the one from Starlink. That game,
Switch. It looks
very.
It looks beautiful. To be fair, I don't know if the gameplay will hold up.
No, that's what I don't understand. Why have they done? Why are they making?
No child alive now will ever have played the other ones.
True.
Like the Wii U is retro now.
Yeah,
and they're not going to have played the N64 version.
I mean, that was 10 years ago.
As far as I know, there aren't many other games doing that gameplay.
Yeah, but I think the fact that no kids are playing it, games have moved on a lot since then. Yeah,
it's not out.
I feel like, I know, but I think the fact that they can't, I don't think any of them will want to, because it's so old, it's so dated. It's like if a game came out now and it played exactly like GoldenEye, that people herald as being like the best first-person shooter of all time. Has that aged well? Like, really?
No,
if you gave that to a child now and said,
but
play this.
Remade GoldenEye, that was good. I mean, it wasn't the best FPS ever made.
If a game came out now that like played like GoldenEye, but looked
but this isn't playing exactly the same as the first Star Fox game. It'll have variances.
Maybe, but they have said it plays the same.
I believe they'll have some like upgrade elements and stuff to it that weren't in the original.
You can play it with a Nintendo 64 controller.
So it has to be the same.
You can play it with the Nintendo 64 like Switch
plugin.
So
Okay. I
at
feel
least
like,
be similar.
Yeah, especially if it's a 4th remake.
I don't think it's necessarily about the controls anyway. It's more so just like an on rails shooter.
Yeah,
There's not. You're right, Joe. There is not a lot of those, and maybe kids will love it, and then the older people who played it back in the day will love it too.
I just feel like there's nothing like that now because it is dated. It's in the past. We've moved on to better things. Make a better one.
We don't punish the children nowadays like we got punished back then.
You get to start the level again if they didn't.
Yeah. Do you mean you don't continue? What do you mean it's over?
But I hope it's successful.
I'd like to play it. It's not a full price game.
I'm going to buy it when it comes out.
Yeah.
It's not a full price game as well.
Yeah, I think it's like 40-something pounds.
Yeah,
I really hope it's successful because I want there to be more Star Fox adventure games.
Well, I think I read something today that
you can play on the GameCube.
There's been 6 or 7 Star Fox games, and 4 of them are the same game.
Yeah,
remade.
Brilliant.
There was one on Wii as well, Star Fox Assault, which was very similar, but it added extra levels where you were different vehicles.
Yeah. People like that.
I think the extra vehicles are in this because you can play as like a submarine.
And the tank.
Yeah. I think the tank was in the original.
The main change to the characters, though, they all have the actual animal legs now, whereas previously in lore, I think they all had robot boots below the knee.
Okay.
So because there was a mode in the original one where you could play as the pilots and you were running around with guns.
Oh, I didn't know that.
They ran really fast. But I think that the law reason why they had no legs below the knee was for like G-forces. The blood wouldn't go down there.
No, fair enough.
Fair.
But now, like, Falco's got his grippers out. You can just see him in all the glory. It's like, what the heck?
What do you think to the look?
They look very like the Rito. Well, at least Falco does. Looks very like the Rito from Breath of the Wild.
I don't mind Falco, actually. I think Falco out of all of them,
Slippy's the one that's giving me the Uncanny Valley.
For me, it's Fox.
Really?
I think Fox looks the worst, Out of all four of them.
He looks nothing like the one from the film screenshots.
He looks like he doesn't want to be there. Come on.
You're dragging me out for a fourth time.
Just looks like he don't want to be there. He looks like that meme of like the horrible like stuffed fox.
The cracked up fox.
Yeah. He just looks wrong, all kinds of wrong. And they had the perfect fox right there from the film.
Yeah.
I am very surprised that the art style isn't in not the Mario film style, but
the
in
Smash Bros style.
No, in the Mario Galaxy film, there's a little cutscene that explains his backstory very fast, like the film, but it's like anime style, like 2D anime style, and that would have been amazing if they made a game like that. Yeah, I think they'd have to make a whole new game like that though. Not Star Fox
hopefully they
will.
Hopefully
fingers crossed they do. But
that could have been even easier to make a remake again, because you're saying all the cutscenes weren't cutscenes before. They could have done them as anime. Even if they were just anime stills with the text.
In terms of you like thinking, what the gameplay's like so dated and all, how would you have changed it? Have like an Ace Combat style or like Rogue Squadron 2?
I wouldn't have done a remake for one, but I just have it less on the rails. It can still be behind the camera. I don't really play a lot of. I don't play any flying games, so I don't know what you can do differently. But there are a lot of other games doing different things. So, if it was up to me, Star Fox would land on an alien planet filled with dinosaurs. You'd have a staff, and it would be like
the best game of my childhood.
A vast minority there.
Hey, Star Fox Adventures is the best
Star Fox, not Planet Fox.
That wasn't even supposed to be a Star Fox game originally, was it?
No.
Anyway, so I don't mind the new art style of the characters as much as I think some people do online. I think it's very 50-50, to be fair. A lot of people are loving it.
Most of the time, you're not even going to see them. You can see the back of a spaceship.
Like I just think it's an odd choice for Nintendo to do, but I don't think it looks bad.
What about the fact that you can now roleplay as the characters?
Oh, that was
what?
Joe, Ben, have you seen that?
No.
So, during the direct that they did, speaking of, the direct was literally announced the day before. Bear in mind, we haven't heard anything from Star Fox for 10 years.
Next, guys.
Yeah, for 10 years or something. And then just the day before, well, he was in the Mario film, I suppose. But then the day before, they're like, bringing a direct out because there's a new Star Fox game coming out. It's a remake.
How could we not bring that up? We predicted this game would come out when you watched the Star.
True. But I didn't think it'd be coming out. I'm going to written it down.
I expect June to make more than
25th.
Yeah,
it's coming out.
They
had this in the chamber ready to go, and they thought
we're ruining Ben's segment for next episode.
Star Fox in the film, so people know he's coming.
I'll find some weird and wonderful crap instead.
They've definitely held out for the film, I think.
Yeah. But the weird thing that they showed is you can do this. I don't know if it's a mode or whether it's, when you do your voice chat in Switch 2, you get like a camera. You can be like a VTuber with the Fox characters.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, so as you move, their face and mouth moves. It's just part of the Nintendo Switch camera, I think.
Yeah. Oh wow! So you don't even have to get the game to do that.
Because I've seen other people. You might have to get the game to possibly unlock it.
I've seen other 20p. Oh no, 4.
Yeah,
480.
But I've seen them playing like a Mario game, and somebody's like talking as Fox in the corner. I have seen
it. Looks pretty weird, but fair. Yeah, at least it's something new, different.
Role play as the Star Fox crew.
Yeah, I wonder what the limitations are.
You can't do a barrel roll in your own living room.
Yeah. Clothes are required.
You know what I've always found weird about Star Fox? why the whole crew's called Star Fox. Because he's
The
called
ship
Fox.
is called the Star Fox.
But he's called Fox, right? But his
Yeah.
dad's called James
McLeod, yeah.
McLeod. So he named his son after his crew?
No, I think he named his son after the ship.
Yeah. Or did he name the ship
Or
after
just
his
said,
son?
"Oh my God, my son is a fox. It's not a human."
I've got a
Yeah.
great idea.
Yeah.
Hear me out.
How about we call him Fox?
Yeah.
I'm going to call my son Human.
Well,
That is a
some
good
people
point.
are called Guy.
That's true.
Well, all right, I'll give you that.
Well,
Yeah.
we'll move
There's no
on.
gals out there, though.
There is not. We'll move on from Star Fox unless anyone
Yeah.
else has got anything to say. I'm
gonna get
excited for the Star
Yeah.
Fox fans. Great,
Hmm.
amazing. Hope it's good.
I hope it gets the same attention that DK Bonanza got.
Yeah, no,
I
definitely.
have a feeling all I'm going to see now is again every time I see Fox now that Brad said that. You put me out again.
Again, I said that.
All right. That's all I'm going to see.
Yeah.
So the Steam controller is out now.
It's sold
It is.
out now.
It's sold out now.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, so in light of that, they did a thing, didn't they, on the second batch? So you have to pre-register to be able to get one. You can only buy one.
It's interesting they've done that because when the Steam Deck was announced, they did that one per customer.
Yeah, they've done it in the past.
Yeah.
It's because of all the
controller-
scalpers in it, and they chucked them on eBay straight away for 200 quid, and
The
nobody
thing
can
is,
have
for the
one.
controller, people might want more than one, so I get why they didn't do that in the first place.
Yeah,
I think that's
yeah.
probably why, because I was questioning why they didn't use the same tactic, but yeah, that's
Max
probably
2
why.
per customer.
Yeah, I'm not 100% on the rules, but they probably have done something like that. If you are requesting two, you can have two, but you pre-request, you are vetted. I don't know. You are.
Yeah, well, they had to sign up for Steam.
Show
Deck.
me your eBay account.
Yeah, and you got put into like batches, I think, or something
Yeah.
like that.
While it's a new device, it's just going to have to be one, isn't it? But it has been getting good reviews out there. It is, I don't know how much it is in pounds, but
it's
in dollars.
£99, I think.
It's $99.
Was it $99? Yeah.
$99. So I'm
That
not
means
sure
it
about
probably is
that.
£99 then.
Yeah, true.
At least 90.
I'll quickly check. Steam controller. Continue.
So it is a little bit more than a PlayStation and an Xbox standard controller.
£85.
Oh, that's
Okay.
worth it.
What
What
is
do
it?
you do?
Is it £60 for a PS5 controller?
About that.
Full
Depends,
price?
Yeah, 55. I think a lot of the time you can get them
Yeah.
for.
Yeah, I think
Let
I got
me-
mine for 45 or something. But it's got a lot more going on with it.
Yeah,
It's got-
50, 55.
okay.
If it's on the par with the Elite, then you know.
Well, this is
Well,
it.
it's not. Yeah,
I feel like it's sitting somewhere in between an Elite controller and a standard controller because it's got a lot more features than a standard controller. It's got haptics in it.
buttons.
It's got
Yeah,
haptics in it like the
macro
PlayStation
buttons
controller.
on the back.
It's got the back buttons. It's got what
That's a
they
bit
call
No Man's Land, then.
the squares,
The mouse
touch
pads.
the
pads,
touch
yeah.
pads, the mouse pads.
It's kind of like a cross. From what I can tell, it's kind of leaning more towards a pro controller functionality, but leaning more towards a standard controller in price. So it's
And
landed
probably,
in a good
like
place.
build materials as well.
Yeah, I'm not gonna
I
lie.
don't see with metal thumbsticks or anything like
Yeah.
that.
I'm not gonna lie. It looks a little cheap to me, but I haven't had one personally up close and
Yeah.
personal.
Mm.
But it looks cool.
Yeah.
Are you
I
gonna?
don't think it does look cool.
Is it?
It is.
Is it still you can only buy them from Steam? There's no retailers you can buy them from.
Only Steam.
Yeah,
Scalpers,
I
eBay.
suspect. Well,
Well,
I
don't
suspect
do-
it'll
don't
stay
do
like
that,
that
guys.
for a while because I think the Steam Deck you can only get through Steam.
Still?
I mean,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh,
If this is probably going to be indicative of the console and the
Yeah.
headset as well, and they'll probably be only available at Steam, definitely, but difficult to get hold of. As Jake was saying, for all intents and purposes, people are really liking it. There's quite a few really cool features for customizability you can do with it. So in games where you can change the inputs, what everything does, that can be quite nice. When there's a
Remap.
game with really awkward buttons, but not all games offer that. Whereas the Steam controller has like an overlay interface sort of thing where you can do it through the controller's UI, if that makes sense.
That's cool.
So you can map everything,
I guess
for each game as well, for like game
dependent.
dependent.
From the basis of the replacing a keyboard, aren't they? So in theory, it would already have that tech in it.
Exactly, and then you like your touchpads. You can have like press up on the touchpad to be a macro or a button press. You can have swipe to be different ones. So you've got like another 8 functions there. There's a grip button, so it's not a button, but when you grip the controller,
You just called it a button.
Yeah, but button as in it activates. It's like a switch.
Yeah,
it's an input,
like a squeeze control on a phone.
Yeah. So you can squeeze it on both handles, and that acts as another input.
The rage button.
Yeah. So, if I squeeze too hard, quit.
Yeah. Alt F4.
So that's really cool. I think the only downside to it for that as well is the overlay is fundamental for the controller to operate. But in order for the overlay to work, you have to be using Steam. So any game you want to play, you have to play through Steam. Now you can get a game outside of Steam and put it into Steam as a non-Steam game. That still works.
Yeah.
Boot it through Steam. That will still work. But if you're playing, say, I'm trying to think of any examples, but let's say you played a Game Pass game, you won't be able to put that in as a non-Steam game, I don't think. The controller won't work.
Microsoft purchases, you won't be able to do because you need.
So, like, your computer wouldn't recognize it as an input device. Only Steam.
No, exactly. Yeah, only Steam does. So if if it works in big picture mode, for example, your PC, it'll work great with the Steam machine when that comes out. I think what you were getting at there, Jake, is you can't put the Windows Store on a Steam Deck or Steam machine because of Steam OS.
Yes.
If you're playing on a Windows PC, Steam, you could play games.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
But I don't know whether you can put the Game Pass games into Steam. Like,
I've never tried it.
I think probably because you don't own them, it wouldn't let you.
Yeah, maybe not. So I don't know in all that. But basically, most people who are playing games on PC are playing them on Steam. So it's not really an issue. But just in case you don't, or there's some games you have that you don't want to put through Steam or whatever, then the controller does only work through Steam. Yeah.
Cool.
But the puck's really cool.
The what, sorry?
The thing that charges it, It's
like a little magnetic charging puck.
It does look cool.
I've seen people slide in the controller across the desk and it picks it up on the bottom.
Nice. That's it for the news.
You want to send £89 across the desk,
85.
Okay.
Plus the puck's probably worth at least £5, so that's £80.
Yeah, well, there you go. Exactly. Yeah.
That's it for the news.
That's it.
Unless anyone's got anything else.
No, just move on to the socials, I'd say.
Thank you for that segue, Joe, because I forgot that I was hosting for a second there. So, socials, you can email us at gaminggarnish@gmail.com. If you want to email us, you can do questions, tell us how good we are. You can do anything, really.
Suggest a game for us to play.
Suggest a game for us to play. No spam, please. We have had a few spam people in our Discord recently, which moves me on to our Discord. Join there. Lots of good chat going on there after we ban the bots and the people trying to do competitions. Which anyway, so the Discord is a great place. We do have chats in there every now and then, post pictures. It's always a good time. And then follow us on any socials, X, Facebook, Instagram, the usual, Blue Sky, YouTube. Yeah, we're doing a push on YouTube. All our episodes are going out on there with video now. And Ben does his Wednesday retro lives.
It was a little less retro this week. It was Resident Evil 3, the remake.
You're going back and forth between the remakes and the
just like comparison. It's only an hour or so of the gameplay, but it's a bit of fun.
I enjoyed you trying to shoot the parasite on the ceiling. That was hilarious.
There's nothing wrong with my shooting. Don't know what you're talking about. Dude, really enjoyed it.
Yeah. All right, with the socials out of the way, let's move on to this week's special segment. I love that. I love that jingle. It's absolutely awful, but I love doing it.
It's how bad it is.
It's awful, but it's mine.
I love all the jingles. Look at it.
There are many jingles like it, but this one is Brad's.
Yeah, this one is mine.
Way worse.
So this episode's special segment, we thought we'd talk about reviews in general. There's been a bit of discourse about reviews recently, specifically with IGN.
But being paid off to review high.
I don't think it's only being paid off. It's more
playing the game.
It's more just them rating some games lower than other people think they should be, and then rating other games higher than other people think they should be. I think the more recent examples is like the Crimson Desert review is quite low, and the Mouse PI review is quite low, and the Sauros review is quite low, but then the mixtape review is a 10.
10? Wow.
Yeah.
Mouse PI, less cartoon.
Well, to be fair, I actually listened to somebody's critique on the Mouse PI review from IGN, which is hilarious.
And reviewing reviews now.
Yeah.
It is a pretty bad review.
It's really bad. Yeah.
But
is this a case of game journalists dumb review?
No, I wouldn't say so.
It's game journalists sniffing their own farts a little bit, and I think kind of expecting a different game than the game that it was, but reviewing it based on the difference. So they're like, they're kind of talking about it because it's for Mouse PI, it's a boomer shooter set in like a noir detective sort of world, but they're kind of treating it like
it's also a cartoon. It's also a cartoon.
It's also a cartoon,
like
a hose cartoon. And then they kind of like, oh well, it should have been enough. It should have been more noir, and they're like a massive noir film.
There should have been detective elements.
Why are they talking about cheese so much?
Why is there so many cheese
cartoon mouse?
Now, obviously, IGN gets a lot of flack for this. I think one thing that's important to caveat with institutions like IGN is the name of the brand that has given it the score, but the actual individual who's reviewed it is different from the person who reviewed this other game, and it's different from the person who reviewed this game.
They're not peer-reviewed reviews.
Yeah.
So, well,
it's one person's thought.
Have a consensus.
Yeah.
And I kind of, in some ways, even though it sounds like a very good job, I feel sorry for them in some ways that they'll just be given a game, I imagine, a lot of the time. Like, you're reviewing Mouse PI for hire. Like, you're reviewing Crimson Desert. And if you're not, like, excited about that game, or it's just not your usual thing.
In this case.
Or you have to play it really fast to get the review out. Are you going to enjoy it?
You cannot do that with Crimson Desert at all.
Yeah. Or
in this case, that are 15 hours into it and are just getting past the tutorial stages.
Well, like in this case, they've picked the guy who really likes noir to review the game that has noir elements, but then because he really likes noir, that's the bit he's focused in on.
Yeah.
And it's not always...
But rightly so, because if he was picked because he likes noir, they'd be like, oh, they must know this game has noir elements in it for me to have reviewed it. And then he's disappointed by it.
Yeah, but then to not like... I don't know.
Do your own research on it first is stupid.
Yeah, but then obviously people just saying IGN bad. It's like, well, that's not really fair. And it's not even necessarily fair to say this reviewer is bad. I don't agree with their take on this one game. I think they've overanalyzed certain aspects that need overanalyzing, but doesn't mean they're a bad reviewer. They've come in with good faith, and they've got a different opinion to most other people. That's okay.
The problem with IGN though is that as a company, it has a track record of doing that for a lot of games.
Too much water, 7 out of 10.
And and this is the thing that people are finding, and I've never really agreed with the consensus that IGN just are contrarian and they just do everything differently and their reviews are rubbish or whatever. I've never really subscribed to that. But recently, there have been quite a few where they have been the outlier. Like Sauros, they are the outlier because they gave it a 7. To the point where, a lot of other people who's given it, 9s, it's sitting at like a high 80 on Metacritic, like 89, 90, that sort of thing. But they gave it a 7, like the only one. Raoul Coley was doing a live stream with Alana Pierce, and he took off his jacket and he was wearing a 7, what is a hexagon with a 7 in it, and good. So pointing fun at IGN. But it has happened quite a lot recently, and it is more noticeable now that they seem to be always the outliers.
The reason before when I was saying it seems like IGN are paid off by people for these reviews. When something like, I don't know, like a Call of Duty comes out, they're always rated super high, even though the gameplay in some of them is trash. The game is still rated super high, whereas other companies don't rate it as high as they did.
I've not noticed it so much with Call of Duty, but if you use Call of Duty, for example, because they're such a big outfit, I generally probably can say, okay, well, let's get Jimmy Call of Duty man on this one, because he knows his Call of Duties and he likes them and he'll rate it. He plays them hundreds of hours every year. He's going to enjoy the game, and that's it. Whereas most
the guy that likes it, is going to go, well, it's Ace, it's the best one.
Or is that more valuable than giving it to someone who hates Call of Duty? Or someone who's indifferent to Call of Duty, because are they really going to be the best person to critically
You should give it to someone
something?
who's experienced in many different shooters rather than just someone who's experienced in different Call of Duties.
Well, I think this is where
I would do your factory builders. Because I have a favourite factory builder, but I can also pick apart other ones and go, well, I'd prefer it that way. But it would be an I'd prefer it that way, not
rather than it's bad because it's not
too much water.
I think this gets into an important discussion around objectivity versus subjectivity.
So there is very limited room for objectivity in gaming.
Yeah, and reviews as well. But you use that example then, factory builders. You might say a factory builder is terrible because you don't like it because you like factory builders. Yeah. But that game might be really good for someone like me who doesn't like factory builders because it's good at other stuff that I don't normally like in a factory builder.
Yeah, my argument there is I could see it from other people's point of view. I would see it as, okay, that isn't in-depth enough for a factory builder for me. However, that might be the step in for people to start factory builders. So I would see it from that point of view.
Would you guys rather a review, or do you believe a review should be objective or subjective?
I believe a review should be like self-critical of its own opinion. Like say the reviewer says, I feel this way about the game, but I can see why it would be better for other people. Like we just said with Ben. Rather than saying, this game's really good, but I don't like it because
too much cheese. Too much cheese. That brings,
I feel like that's kind of
subjectivity into,
that's kind of how we try and do our reviews.
Yeah, that's kind of how we talk about it.
Professionalism.
We are.
And I'm not...
We're listen to Gaming Garnish, people.
Definitely not tooting my own horn here, because I don't know what the hell my Disco Elysium talk was about before.
Get it published.
So
studied in the future.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm good at it at all, but I prefer that sort of take on it where it's more like, I would recommend it. I don't mind scores necessarily, because I actually think 7 out of 10 is good. Like,
well, an IGN 7 out of 10 is good. Yeah,
it is good. And I just feel like people, it's unfortunately, it's either the best thing ever or it's not very good at the minute.
It's hot garbage.
And unfortunately, for some reason, if it's 8 or if it's 7 or 8, it's mid, and 9 and
I think 8 is considered good.
Yeah. But then anything below that is like trash.
7 is like, 7 is wait for it to come on a service, and 6 is never play it. That's like how it feels.
I don't feel like that should be the case.
I think that's it's really unfair because I recently got like PS2 emulation up and running on my Mac, and I was going through like top recommended games to play like on PlayStation 2, and I'd been finding ones that I'd missed from childhood, like playing at people's houses, and they were some of them were scored like 4 or 5. But I still really remember enjoying them when I was younger. So
that was back in the time we didn't put as much stock into this sort of thing.
Exactly. So it shouldn't be like if it's not an 8,
less politics.
Yeah. Because that's when they were trying loads of new things.
It's really hard to divorce the two. I think just going back to like subjectivity and the objectivity, I think that's why it's really important to find reviewers that you like to listen to, but also that more similarly sort of like match your play style and your opinions. And some people would argue that is
echo chamber.
Yeah, you're hearing what you want to hear because they just reflect the same thing back at you. And I get why that would be an argument. However, if someone is articulate enough to be a reviewer and they have similar opinions to you, you know that you can read their review and think that you're probably going to end up in the same sort of category. Someone can equally be a very good reviewer, but dislike what you like and really like other stuff, at which point there's kind of no point reading their review, because it might be very well handled. It might be a very articulate review. Does it really mean anything to you? Because they might say it's the best game ever and then you play it and hate it. Look at Disco Elysium. I know Jake didn't hate the game by any means.
No, definitely not.
You read the reviews and it's like one of the best games ever. He's then played it and not found that it was. Had he maybe read a review from someone who he knows is to be more similar to the way he plays games, maybe he would have learned that.
At the same
before.
time, I see that in it. I see why somebody would finish that and be like, wow, what a masterpiece.
It can happen with any genre though. There's a lot of talk about some of the Final Fantasy games being the game of all time to play, and I just look at it and be like, well, that's just a turn-based combat thing with a bit of story behind it. Because that's not my genre to play, because it's too slow.
Yeah, and you probably won't even play that anyway. But
no, exactly.
Yeah, but if you knew someone who was similar to you, in what they like and had similar thoughts on that, and a new game came out that was a new JRPG and you were interested in it, maybe you would seek out their thoughts.
Yeah, and say, is it worth me playing? Is it an entry to the series that I should, or entry to the genre?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think you're right about finding somebody who you align with as much as possible. But I know I know obviously The Last of Us is one of your favorite games, Brad. And I know you listen to a lot of Skill Up, for example. And he's one of yours.
That game.
He's one of your go-tos.
Yeah.
But he hates Last of Us 2.
He hates The Last of Us 2. But what I like about him as a reviewer is when he says he doesn't like something, he articulates very well why he doesn't like it, but in a way where I can then make a decision. Okay, he doesn't like it for this reason. However, I think I will like it for that reason.
Yeah, because that's the bit I love the most.
Yeah, and he articulates that very well. So I still like his reviews, because sometimes he said he loves games for X reason.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't really like that in my games.
Yeah.
So that's why
we clashed on Monster Hunter, but not Ninja Gaiden. Because you like to be able to get out of animations really quick. And I like to focus on, do I do the animation at the right time?
That's actually funny you say that, because again, Skill Up really likes Monster Hunter, and he says he likes to be deliberate about his moves. He likes to press the button and intend that to happen, whereas I don't so much.
You like to mash.
I'm a button masher.
I prefer Monster Mash to Monster Hunter.
There you
go. But I think the way I like to sort of approach a review is the same sort of way friend of the channel Scott Tailford says it. He always says, what were they going for? What did they nail? Because I think that covers the widest breadth of games, and you can, it's a lot easier to break down a game than using mouse PI, for example. What were they going for? They were going for a boomer shooter with a rubber hose style, with the sort of noir sort of taking it. And for the most part, you can say, and cheese puns, you can say that they nailed a lot of those things. Some elements might be weaker than others, but they've nailed a lot of it. So you can sort of start to establish a score from that. Whereas if someone's aiming for something and it's pretty terrible, again, using Indica for an example, which I talked about last episode.
Who knows what they were going for?
Yeah, but they were going for something weird, and he did nail it. Whether it resonates with you or not is a different matter. But you can see what they were going for, and it will resonate with someone.
And that's that's the whole thing with I think Metacritic probably does it best with having both the user and the...
Yeah, I like
people
this.
hate
very
Metacritic.
like Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah, people hate Metacritic. Open Critics like the other one, but I don't really know the difference.
Yeah, but the thing is, it's also a bit subjective, because the user reviews are going to come from people who looked at that game and went, "That's my sort of game. I'll play that."
One of two people. The user review is going to come from people who hated it or people who loved it. It's the same as an Amazon review. No one who is happy with the product but nothing more is gonna feel compelled to go on Amazon and write a review. But if you love it or you hated it, you are.
Yeah, there's not
I feel like
many
that's
2 to 4
user-
stars. It's always 1 or 5.
Yeah, and I feel like that is user scores.
There are people on
Fortunately.
Amazon who haven't even received the package yet and review it.
And
Yeah.
they give it a 1.
Yeah.
Yeah, but, I mean that's a review.
But that's
Usually
like
at 1 star.
Yeah.
But then you bring
Yeah.
it to like these big corporations. It must be hard because they're not always the games that they want to play. If that makes sense. Like let's go back to Disco Elysium. I'm giving Disco Elysium a 7 out of 10, not because it's not a fantastic game for the people who loved it, but because it just didn't quite resonate with me. But I still think it's a good game. So it's a 7. Like I still had a really good time. Hence, it's good. It's 7 out of 10. It just wasn't my usual sort of.
But that's when you get to the 7 out of 10. Is that good enough for good?
Well, that's why I think it's really important to read the review and not just a score.
Yeah.
Or even if it's just a synopsis. Metacritic always has a synopsis of the reviews. Because you can sort of get a bit of a gist of it there again and see, are they saying things that they hated about the game, which actually I'll like? That's important. Because and also, go for the reviewers and trust, and you agree with their opinions and everything I was saying before. Because a Metacritic is what's the word? An amalgam, but there's a word for I can't remember what it's called. Anyway, bringing loads of different reviews together and taking an aggregate.
Yeah.
That's the one, an aggregate. So yes, it gives you on a glance, okay, this game's considered well by most people because it's an 80 or 90. But again, that one reviewer who's very similar to you might have actually scored a 60.
Yeah.
But everyone else has scored at 90. Then maybe actually you're not going to enjoy it. So I think it's more important. The scores are fine because they give you a rough indication of where something sits, and whether the general population or the general critical population like it, and even the reviewer you like, if they give it an 8, roughly where they stand with it. But I always think it's important to read the actual subject of the review.
Yeah.
If even just like the bullet points, just to see why they've scored it that. Because Cyberpunk scored very well, but it was a buggy mess. So
true.
reading those reviews
because people were looking for what it was trying to achieve.
Yeah,
rather than
and I
what
think
it
that
actually
can be
achieved.
fair, but it's important to acknowledge at least that it's a bit ropey performance. Or played on PS5 Pro and you've only got a PS5, so maybe look for a review that reviewed it on PS5 just so you're not going to be disappointed.
Gen 1 Xbox One, thank you very much. And
So-
it did not play well.
Yes, it was rough. It was.
I tend to not really listen to much reviews nowadays because I find that too politicky. Everyone's got their own side to fight for no particular reason that I don't think brings it.
It's usually to
come
keep
into
their own
gaming.
audience.
I tend to make my own decision by looking at the trailers and
I was going to say, sometimes.
I tend to just choose what games I'll try.
Yeah.
Well,
over
that's
reviews
why.
nowadays.
Or at least to keep an eye on. There'll be some games that might review really well, but I just wasn't
I think
really paying attention.
The way I use reviews more often these days, again, using Skillup as an example, because I usually watch all his videos, is I don't necessarily watch him to see what he thinks of them, although that is still part of it. I'm watching them as almost like an extended trailer with a bit of someone talking about the game and explaining it. So I'm sort of getting more out of it by, because he say 20 minutes, I get more gameplay because he shows gameplay. And then I get a bit of an explanation of what the story is like and a bit of an explanation to what the gameplay actually plays like, or the soundtrack or whatever. And it almost feels a bit like, those prolonged gameplay sequences you get at E3. And you get like a 10-minute segment of someone walking you through it. It's almost like an extension of that for me. I'm like, okay, I was interested in this game, but hearing someone talk about it for 20 minutes and getting a bit of gameplay and getting a bit of this and that, I'm either now more interested or less.
Yeah,
there's also
that can often be
17
critical,
million streamers nowadays.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
when the
there
game
is.
comes out,
stuff early.
go and watch them.
Yeah, you can watch someone stream it. I personally wouldn't, because you're getting the whole game then. I liked someone to have curated a 20-minute, 30-minute video and condensed all their thoughts.
And where they skip the spoiler parts.
Yeah. But if you, and that's another thing, spoilers in reviews can you accurately review a game without, not necessarily without story spoilers, but like, gameplay spoilers sometimes.
Yeah. Like me talking about screamers and all the things you unlock in it. Like that's,
some people would say that's
spoiling
spoilers.
people for the late game. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or even like finishing it as well, to be fair. Like we don't always finish
finish it. Yeah.
Games, but
and sometimes I don't think you need to finish every game to be able to give a review on it. If it's a very story heavy game, then maybe you need to see credits on the story. But because it could end terribly.
Yeah.
But
and it was all a dream.
There's a lot of studios these days that put quite harsh restrictions on content creators or reviewers that they can't talk about anything.
Yeah.
For example, you said about Last of Us before, you couldn't talk about half the game.
Yeah.
So a lot of people were saying they didn't like it specifically for half of the game, but they couldn't talk about that half of the game. So how do you navigate that? It becomes hard to sort of get across the point of, I didn't like this because of this, or I really like this part of the game, but I can't talk about it because I've been told I'm not allowed to.
Yeah.
Or maybe you set your own restrictions. I don't want to tell you about this. Or it's talking about Outer Worlds. I want to say how good it is because of these puzzles, but I don't want to spoil any of the puzzles. So just trust me. It's good.
Trust me, bro. Source.
Yeah. It's hard, I think, to review a game. I think, it's hard to review a game. It is. It sounds easy, but I think it's quite hard.
I'm going to give it a good old college try with Scream. I'm going to do a write-up.
Go for it. Go for it. But it's hard to do it on like a global sort of like platform. It's easy to say to your friend who what they like, play this game. I think you're going to like it.
Definitely.
But it's not easy to take a step back and tell more people who you don't know.
Yeah, millions of people.
Who all have different tastes to you.
Both objectively and subjectively, what you think of a game. And also not be influenced by anyone else, because IGN could have been writing that Mouse PR review thinking everyone's going to be landing on a 6. And then it comes out that they're the outliers.
Very true. Very true. Should we round this off with a favorite 7 out of 10 games?
Favorite 7 out of 10?
Just off the top of your head.
I don't know what games I've played that have been rated 7 out of 10.
Well, I don't think it needs to be rated 7 out of 10, but like you would consider it a 7, but you love it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which is quite hard.
It is quite hard. I might have to go on my backlog website. 1 second.
Ben, do you have one? While everyone else is thinking, because I certainly don't.
I do not.
Oh, God.
Everything that I play is pretty high rated,
I suppose that's the thing, isn't it? I really liked, I'll think of something earlier in this year. I really liked Pepper Grinder. Gave that a 7 out of 10. Don't think it would end up being higher. But it was really fun this year. So there's that.
Oh.
I've gone and done a mini Google and said what's the most 7 out of 10 game someone's played, and someone put Horizon Zero Dawn.
Okay,
7 out of 10.
I get that.
Yeah, and probably Days Gone as well. But I'd probably say Days Gone is more of a 7 out of 10 than Horizon. Horizon's probably pushing a bit higher.
Is one I agree with. The original Borderlands.
Okay. Yeah. Well, yeah.
It does everything well, but nothing fantastically.
That's kind of like AC Mirage I played this year.
Yeah.
I'd probably say A Way Out as well. I'm bordering on giving that an 8 out of 10.
I would give that an 8. Just because it made me feel
a high
something.
7.
Yeah. And like stuff like Stanley Parable, let's say, because
Stanley Parable is excellent. That is not a 7.
That is an 11 out of 10. Like if you're not gonna, it's not for everybody. It is just walking, but it is funny. But there's no gameplay. Yeah. Really?
No, but what were they going for?
What about the
What were they going for, and what did they nail?
Very true. Well, I'm just saying, really good.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. There's loads.
There's loads. And
Plucky
they always
Squire.
get forgotten.
Plucky Squire was really good last year. Or was it the year before?
Actually, that's a good shout. I think it was last. Maybe was it? Was it the year before?
It was
whenever that came out. Yeah, I think
you talked about
I
it
agree.
Last year.
Yeah. Okay. And we talked about it pretty quick. Yeah, I think that was probably
that's
up there.
Even
maybe not my favorite 7 out of 10, but
even egging on. I wouldn't. I
was
don't
thinking
think
of
I would give it a 7 out of 10 personally, but you could say it's that.
that. Yeah. You'd give it an 8.
I give it a 6. That's what I gave it on the website.
Give it a W.
I'm surprised you even gave it a 2, Ben.
No, it looks nice.
Yeah.
It does look good.
Evil West. Me and you played that, Brad. I'm
Yeah, that
coming
was
with loads.
Yeah.
That was-
Lords of the
that was-
Fallen. Or was
Yeah, yeah.
that lower?
Yeah. Both of them were
Kingdoms
lower
of
for me.
Amalur Reckoning. That's the most 7 out of 10 adventure game
Yeah.
I've played.
There's probably a lot of games I played as a kid that were 7 out of 10s, but in my heart, they are better.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's this game called Wet on Xbox 360.
Oh, I remember that. It was like Kill Bill Simulator.
Yeah, and you go in slow-mo and shoot.
Yeah, it's
The
great.
story
Yeah, Souls too.
was ridiculous, if
Mm.
I remember rightly. It was the stupidest story I remember,
Yeah.
but gameplay-wise.
What about for
Then-
shooters? Red Steel on the Wii.
Oh, I remember that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had a
Yeah.
sword and a pistol. It's great.
and you actually moved it, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We might have to
Never
ask
played it,
the
though.
Discord what the favourite 7 out of 10 games are.
Yes.
Mm.
We will report back.
Yes.
Cool.
Next
Well,
episode.
Yes. Well, that's been us for another episode. So, yeah, we've been Gaming Garnish. Thank you very much for listening all this way. Until
Thank
next
you.
time.
See you
See
later.
you later.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.